Talk, the Uncut Edition. Say it just how you feel it.
No filters, no fluff, just real talk with the full Flashpoint fam. Get with it.
From hot takes to belly laughs, the crew is locked in and ready.
From debates that might get a little spicy, including all VIP members.
This is where vibes meets voice, jokes meets truth, and we talk things.
We are here to get real.
It's raw, it's real, and it's about time.
But big conversations. This is Flash Talks, the Uncut Edition. Flash Fam. What are the things then now? Real people, real voices, real conversations.
Flash Talk, the Uncut Edition, at 7 p.m. every Thursday, right here on Flashpoint.
Good evening, Flash Fam, and welcome to another vibey, unfiltered edition of Flash Talk, the Uncut Edition. Now, tonight's topic is one that hits deep. Would you walk a mile in her shoes? Now, listen, we live in a world quick to judge the walk, but slow to understand the journey. And tonight, we're peeling back the layers on what it really means to walk through challenges, criticism, leadership, and faith as a woman in the public eye. And who better to walk us through this conversation than a woman who knows what it's like to live under the spotlight, to be loved, questioned, and still stand bold. The one and only Mrs. Sandra Hill, director of Cayman Mall Road, popularly known as CMR. She's bold, she's brilliant, and she's never afraid to speak her mind. A voice that challenges, empowers, and keeps it real in the community. She is a proud Caymanian, a media powerhouse, and an unapologetic woman of influence who has walked her own unique mile, facing challenges, criticism, and victories with grace and grit. I have her bio, but I think it would be lovely to hear from the Mrs. Hill herself. But before we do so, you know the drill. Go grab your drink. We're going to take a short break and we will be right back. And next you will hear from Mrs. Sandra Hill. I remember to like, share, and you know how it goes. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll be right back.
Flashpoint Media presents Point of Praise, Cayman's Got Talent, Gospel Edition, Saturday, October 25, 2025. Place to be, Triple C 74 Fairbanks Road, Georgetown, Grand Cayman. Tickets, pre-sold $25, VIP $50. Part proceeds to loud, solid voices. Be there.
Tonight, we focus on the topic, would you walk a mile in her shoe? And so we welcome the one and only Mrs. Sandra Hill, and she is going to tell us a little about herself. Welcome to Flash Talk, Mrs. Hill. Tell us a little about yourself.
Good evening. How are you?
I am doing well.
Thank you so much, Nikki, for having me. I really appreciate it. It's so nice to be here. And congratulations on your show, Flash Talk, Uncut.
Thank you.
Wow, I feel like I'm an open book in so many respects that I don't know what more there is to say. I mean, people know me as an entrepreneur for a number of years now, Cayman Mall Road, but even before that, I was, in the world of a business. So I'm just fixing something in the background that I've just noticed. When you're hosting a show, you notice things.
Yes, that's all right.
Yes, but yes, I've been in this space for a really long time, and have been having a wonderful really journey being in media here in the Cayman Islands. But before that, for over 20 years now, I've been an entrepreneur. I have had my own training and professional development business, small business services. Some people might remember we had an internet cafe in West Bay back in the day when that was a thing. And, I just keep rolling with the punches and pivoting whenever it's necessary to do so.
Right. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that intro alone already has me ready to take my shoes off and just listen. Trust me. Mrs. Hill, you have walked through media storms, public opinions, and a whole lot of real life experiences. And I'm sure that there's more to you that we have not yet seen. So tonight we want to dive into what it really means to walk into a woman's shoe. And I thought it's appropriate to invite you to talk about that tonight. Because let's be honest, sometimes those shoes aren't just heels, Mrs. Hill.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
They're heavy with expectations, pressure, and strength we didn't always get credit for. And so before we get deep, because we're going to get deep tonight.
That's okay.
We're going to loosen up a little bit. We're going to have some fun. And this brings us to our icebreaker section. So my first question to you, Mrs. Hill, is if your shoes could talk, what story would they tell first?
Well, I think that they would, tell the story of a lot of bumps in the road, right? They've been through it, so they are a little bit worn. Buck toes along the way. So I honestly believe that when you're at a particular age in life, you've been through a lot. You have seen a lot. You've done probably quite a bit as well. And so with that maturity and experience comes baggage, good, bad, sometimes even indifferent.
Yes.
But it's all there and it's all part of the journey. So those shoes are well worn. They're definitely not brand new. They've got some scuff marks on them. Nothing that probably couldn't be polished out. But yes, they have definitely been through it. And yet in the roughness of the shoes, because they have to be genuine leather, right?
Of course.
We don't shoe wear, none at all. So even through the different toiling and turmoils and everything that we've been through, they still look good. They're worn, but still look good.
Still look good.
Yeah.
Still look good.
Yes.
And that brings me to my next question. Now, you have probably walked in everything from heels to flip-flops, crepes, if you know crepes. What's the most Caymanian thing you have ever done in heels, ma'am?
In heels. Well, I have to tell you that at my level of maturity and knee pains and foot aches, the heels are all the way in the back of the closet now. I don't buy them anymore if I can help it. The most Caymanian thing I've done, oh my gosh, that's a pretty tough question.
I know.
I think just really being a woman of strength. That question reminds me, many, many years ago, I was at the forefront of one of the political parties. They're still around today.
Mhm.
And I was walking in a hallway, and, there's people there, and I was walking, and the leader of the party at the time, Mr. Kurt Tibbet, stopped and he said, a Jamaican guy was watching me earlier, and he said, boy, she walk like she's on a mission. You can hear the footsteps coming. They're coming. So yeah, walking with purpose,
Yes.
and I think
Yes.
that is a very Caymanian thing for
Yes.
many, many seasons gone by, or people walked with purpose, walked with a sense of purpose, a sense of pride,
Yes.
and knowing that even when we were walking into a room where perhaps no one even knew your name, you
Right.
still walked in there with a degree of like professionalism, decorum, and you kind of own that space as best you could.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And if you could describe your journey in one shoe, would it be, and I know the heels are in the back of the closet
Yes.
now, but if you could describe your journey in one shoe, would it be
Yeah.
stiletto, a sneaker, or a combat boot? And why?
Definitely, I'm going to go with the combat boot.
Mm.
Only because, again, just reflecting on the journey, it has not always been easy.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of it that has meant that you've had to, go against the green. You've ruffled a few feathers here and there. And it really is just about continuing to walk the journey, no matter what.
Yes.
And to put your best foot forward.
That's right.
So, combat boots, I think, speak of a degree of resilience. And I always have people say to me, you're the most resilient person that I know. So, I think of all of the boots, definitely the combat boots would probably represent that fighting spirit.
Yes.
That's within me,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And that ends the icebreaker segment. Now we get into the main discussion. All right, here we go. You're one of the most recognized women in Cayman. I hope you know that. How do you balance being authentic while constantly being watched?
Wow. I think that the very word authentic means that, you don't really have to put on any airs about you.
Mm-hmm.
So whether you're being watched or not, you are who you are.
Right.
And so in my mind, that is actually pretty easy to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're just being genuine. And this is one of the things that sometimes people struggle with. They're like, they don't know how to do certain things and how they're coming across. I'm like, well, why are you worried about that?
Right.
Why are you worried about how you come across if you're just being yourself?
Right.
So I think that there's a lot to be said for authenticity. And a lot of times I talk about this, and I talk about even, in the space of like politics and community work and stuff. If you're real and you're just who you are, you're not really hyper focused on what people think about you one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's for sure. And I have a question for you, Miss Cecile. Are you ready? All right.
Yeah, sure.
Have you ever felt misunderstood in your purpose, and if so, how did you find peace in still walking boldly in your lane?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I think that unfortunately being misunderstood when you're front facing in the media probably happens more often than not.
Right.
So it kind of goes with the territory.
Yes.
And I think that honestly, you just have to stay true to your purpose and stay focused.
Yes.
I've always said, when I started Cayman Mall Road, one of the things that I said in years gone by, and I still stick to it to this day,
right,
is that this for me was never a paycheck. It was a passion.
Ah.
And because I truly loved, and I still love what I do,
Mhm.
right? I get up and I work long hours. Sometimes I look at the clock. I'm like, oh my God, it's 1 o'clock in the morning again. Because I'm
Right.
always trying to get to bed earlier.
Right.
You just keep moving forward
Yes.
because there's a real sense of enjoyment in what you do. And so I've also really lived by the knowledge, the inner knowledge and understanding that I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay.
And that's okay.
Yeah, I don't have to be.
For sure.
You know, and people will find, especially in this space of media, people will find what they're interested in, what they're attracted to. And I believe that there's probably something out there for every single person. And I don't have to be the be all and end all for all persons, not at all. So it's good. They can have a different opinion of me. They cannot understand my purpose.
Yes.
But I think that eventually, again, going back to the question of authenticity, because these two tie in together, I think that, it comes full circle, because I've had people say to me, I thought of you in this way.
Right.
And over the years, I've watched your movements. I've seen you stand up for people in certain situations. And I now know more of what you're about.
Awesome.
And so the lesson there is you just leave people alone. You can't force them to think anything about you.
That's right.
But eventually you just continue to be authentic and live in your purpose.
Yes.
And they'll see it.
They'll see it.
Yeah.
They'll see it. And there's one thing I have observed that you're passionate about doing. And I think you love baking brownies. They look delicious, by the way.
Oh, yes.
That's awesome.
You'll have to try some sometimes.
For sure. No, we are in a society that often tears women down, and how can we learn to support instead of judge each other's walks?
You know what? This might sound like I'm going against the grain a little bit, but I don't think there's anything wrong with people judging you. Again, that's their prerogative. That's their right to be able to do that.
Right.
And once you are firm in what it is that you're doing, you're good. People have a right to judge. People judging. I mean, look at how many judge shows there are. That's how popular judging is these days. Right?
Yes.
There's Judge Judy, there's Judge, Brown, there's somebody, and there's a whole genre of reality, court shows around that. You go to court, somebody's going to judge you there too, whether it's a judge or jury or whatever. So we're constantly being judged. And so I don't think that the real question is, how do we stop judging each other? It's how do we say, you know what? Yeah, I can maybe look at you and have some questions and judge you a little bit. But if you are good in your journey, don't let that impact you. Just keep going.
Just keep going.
Right. Because somehow I think along the way we have sort of sensitized our interactions with each other. We've sensitized our communication. Nobody can't say a hard word to you anymore, Nikki. No one can't say, oh, Nikki, I'm not really crazy about that color on you or whatever.
Yes.
Opinion.
Yes.
And it doesn't really necessarily, you don't have to take it on board. That's the beauty of it. You can leave it or you can choose to take it on board. The choice is ultimately the person who is receiving it. So if you choose not to take it on board, fine. Just keep it moving.
Yes.
So, and even with children, having children grow up in a world where they think they're not going to be judged, I think is a very dangerous thing. You're judged constantly. And that's why we even, when you're growing up, remember your mama used to say, be careful about first appearances. It matters. When you go to a job interview, you have to show up and present yourself in a particular way. And all of those things are important because of what? Somebody was going to judge you. Yeah. Someone is going to judge, are you the right candidate for this job? Are you the right candidate for this position? And that's a form of judging as well. So don't be afraid of the judging. In fact, maybe, embrace it a little bit.
Yes.
And know that it doesn't have to be the end all or the be all of your life.
I love it. And you bring the uncut in Flash Talk. I love it. Now, you often share stories and truth through CMR. And even though you share a lot, I'm sure you do not share everything.
Right.
So how do you decide when to speak and when to be quiet?
Well, being quiet might be my Achilles heel. Maybe that's where the problem lies. I'll be honest with you. I do share a lot. Even my husband's like, why did you have to share that? Somebody told me you said XYZ. Why did you have to share that? Because I really am a relatively open person.
Right.
And I think that is how we as individuals connect with each other. And I'm in the space of what I do is I connect with people.
Yes.
So I think that's important. And I can't be on the one hand sitting here and having discussions with people in the community and not have that real authentic connection and not sharing with them. Right. And what I have found, to be honest, is people actually love to hear these stories. Like when I meet people, they're like, oh, you were talking about your holiday or this or that. And I'm always taken aback by how much they listen to what I'm actually saying.
Yes.
And the things that resonate to them, it's not always the big high level, policy discussions and political discussions. It's like, oh my God, your vacation sounded amazing.
Yes.
You're struggling with getting your daughter to bed. I have the exact same issue. So it is that degree of relatability. And I'm a human being. I am, a mother, a wife, a sister to some, a cousin, a friend, all of these things. Yeah. And so I think the truth of the matter is demonstrating to people that I'm just like a lot of you in so many ways. And so sharing my life, sharing my trials, sharing my tribulations, sharing my history, sharing my background, all of that is part of the picture, really.
Very much so. And the more you speak, the more I am learning about you as well. And I'm so happy for that. And that brings us to the uncut section. Now, this is the real talk segment.
Yes.
So we're going to dive right into it.
I have to tell you, my husband left the dog in here and he wants to be part of this. He's barking at me, so clearly he wants to be part of the show.
Yeah. No, that's relatable.
Oh my gosh, he was lying here being quiet, and then all of a sudden I heard, "Roop, roop."
Yes.
Oh gosh, here we go.
Oh, gorgeous.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, it can be a part of the uncut, no problem.
This is Zeus. This is Zeus.
What is a boy?
A boy, Zeus.
A boy, and the name is
Zeus.
Zeus. Hi, Zeus.
Say hi.
Now, I believe you have answered this question already, but I'm going to ask again.
Yes.
I've seen where you have been celebrated, and I've seen where you have been criticized.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're going to be honest, so I don't even have to say that.
Yes.
I want to ask if it gets to you. I think I already know the answer, but I still want to ask, does it get to you? And if it does, how do you reset emotionally if that happens?
Mm-hmm. I think there have been a couple times when it has gotten to me. Yes, because ultimately we're all humans, right?
Very much so.
I could not sit here in truth and say that I am you can't permeate this at all. So there are times, and it's normally around relationships. Like there was an incident with when I think about children and someone was saying, oh, she didn't help this mother and, who was in need trying to fundraise for a child. That really hurt me because I really go out of my way to do so much to ensure that children in the community can have a better life. Right. And so when someone accuses you of something like that, of not caring, basically, where a child is involved, a sick child is involved, it really goes to, your core.
Yes.
So there are times, I would say, the very rare occasion that it does get to me. There's stories that I hear of other people and what they have gone through. And so sometimes even that it's not really a criticism, but that gets to you as well, because you do take that on board from an emotional perspective.
Right.
And you do have to reset yourself, and you reset yourself by kind of sometimes just stepping away, turning off the phone. I have started to take, Sundays in particular very, very seriously, where if I don't have you saved in my phone,
Yes.
and it's not some sort of an urgent call or emergency on a Sunday, that is going to be reserved for friends and close family members only.
Good
I'm not
job.
going to be taking any calls or taking any drama or anything like that on board.
Good job.
And so you reset by spending time with your family. Doing the things that families do, just sitting down watching something silly on the TV, laughing, taking my daughter and her friends to the cinema so that they can enjoy a nice Saturday afternoon. So you pull away from it and remind yourself that you're a 360 person. So there's many different components to who you are. You are a friend. You are a sister, you are an aunt, you are all these other things, a wife. And so you relish in those roles apart and separate from always being, in front of a camera or being the person bringing people the news and that sort of thing. So that's how you recenter. And vacations, listen, vacations are important, girl.
Yes.
The little shopping trips here and there. Sometimes I sneak them in on a weekend. Or, we just came back from our big annual 2-week kind of time off. And I know everybody is cussing me. I got to take your passport from you. And I'm just like, no, this is important for my own sanity. And I find that I come back, and I think my audience will notice it as well. I come back much more refreshed and better for it.
Yes.
As a result of taking the time off.
And I'm happy that you shared that, because this month is actually Mental Health Month. And to hear the steps that you take to reset, I'm really proud of you for taking those steps. And I really wish that more individuals would actually take a step back and just realize that no matter what, we hear it all the time. You can't pour from an empty cup. And even though it sounds like a cliche, it is true. We have to find time to fill up that emotional cup, reset, so that we can be productive to ourselves and to others. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, we spoke about being authentic, and even on the topic of mental health and walking in your shoe, sometimes women may get depressed because they compare themselves to other women. And if you could address the woman who may secretly compare their walk to yours, what would you say to them, Mrs. Hill?
Just repeat that for me. My apologies.
If you could address the woman who may secretly compare their walk or their journey to yours, what would you say to them?
Oh no, comparison, they say, is a thief of joy. Yeah. So don't do it, because everyone has a unique journey. Everyone has a unique path that they're going to take. As they say, there's no two shoes really that are the same once you put them on, because they will mold to your feet.
Correct.
So, if I have bunions and, a big toe that kind of curves a little bit and you don't, our experience is going to be totally different. So you cannot have ever a true comparison. There's no true like for like, I think, in life. Everybody has a unique journey and unique experiences, right? But there is so much at the same time. There's so much commonality amongst us as women that we can share. And I think we can really revel in that, because we can share that with each other. There is, the common struggles a lot of times that we can relate, and we can have discussions, and we can have dialogue. And through that, we can have growth. But don't try to compare, because I think ultimately the truth of the matter is your journey can be so unique, and there's none other like it really in the world, that no one should try to compare themselves to you. You just have to be you and do the best that you can in the circumstances.
And talking about being real, I know that you're known for keeping it real, but is there
Mhm.
something that still catches you off guard or makes you emotional?
Hmm. Again, anything to do with children, I
Yeah.
think about the sort of abuse of children and stuff like that. That's always very, very emotional. But
Yes.
it can be, I think sometimes you're surprised by the things that make you emotional. I was sharing a story yesterday,
Mhm.
actually on Tuesday,
Mhm.
and we were talking about Breast Cancer Awareness Month with some representatives from Health City, and we had a lady there who I know her. She
Right.
works for one of the local businesses. She's a survivor. And when her daughter was talking about when her mom first told her the news of her diagnosis, how she went in the bathroom and started crying,
Right.
I could relate to that because, I was having an interview once, a sit down interview with the Breast Cancer Foundation and all the amazing work that they do here.
Mhm.
And as they were telling me how different people come in that they provide services to, family members, husbands, whatever, of
Right.
women who are going through this diagnosis, all of a sudden I just burst out crying, like full of tears. And the woman's like, "Are you okay? Oh my gosh." And it wasn't really any one thing.
Right.
It was just um the burden that people carry who have to deal with this. And
Yes.
because most of us as women have been touched by this, I have a sister who had breast cancer. My mother has had breast cancer. I think we all know, a number of women in our lives who've had breast cancer, a
Yes.
breast cancer diagnosis. Some have survived, some haven't survived. So that really touched me in a way that was, it was unexpected, like my response. Like I wasn't even expecting like
Right.
to be just bursting out in tears, but I did. And so going back to one of your earlier questions about just the authenticity of it all,
Yes.
you just go with it. I guess people will understand. Um, maybe they'll understand how that happens sometimes.
Yes.
And if they don't, that's okay too. But yeah, there's times when you get emotional and you surprise yourself. You're like, oh
Yes.
my gosh,
Yes.
where is this really coming from?
That is true. And to end, okay. I got my cue. So
Oh,
Mrs. Hill, do not go anywhere. We're gonna take a short break and we
okay.
will be right back.
All right.
Buenos días, buenos días, buenos días, Clifton Hunter. Tendremos una celebración muy especial este viernes que viene. Vamos a celebrar el Día de Hispanidad en Clifton Hunter. Good this Friday. Lock that date and don't be late. On Friday, we will be celebrating Hispanic Day, and it's only $3 to dress down in the colors of a Spanish-speaking country of your choice. Now, let me add that there will be a surprise for the tutorial that has 100% participation. So let's come out in our numbers and make it a day to remember. October 10th, Friday, from 8 to 1:10 p.m. See you there.
From the time that he was 5, that in the jungles of Vietnam.
Welcome back to Flash Talk, the Uncut Edition. And we are focusing on the topic tonight. In her shoes. Would you walk a mile in her shoe? And we have as our guest Mrs. Sandra Hill. I don't know about you, but I'm having fun over here.
Yes.
And we are moving into the speed round game.
Okay.
And the title of the game is In Her Shoes or No Shoes. So,
Right.
Mrs. Hill, I am
Okay.
going to read some statements. And if
Mhm.
you feel that it applies to you, you're going to say in her shoes.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
However, if you feel it has nothing to do with you, you're going to say no shoes, but you have to be quick. Are you ready?
Yes.
Right. First statement. Being the calm one when everyone else is dramatic.
97% of the time in her shoes.
In her shoes, all right? Posting something online, then instantly regretting it.
No.
No shoes.
No shoes.
All right? Giving people a second chance even when they did not deserve it.
Ooh. No shoes.
No.
Yeah, I can be really tough in that regard, I think.
Yeah.
You need to deserve a second chance.
Yes.
Yes.
Laughing off shade because you're too classy to clap back.
Depends on how this is a 50-50 one. Because I love a good clap back, girl. So in her shoes, and I gotta kick one foot off and keep the other one on. This is 50-50. Because sometimes I think a good clap back, a good read is exactly what they deserve and what they need.
Yes. I love it. Taking a solo drive just to clear your mind.
Actually, I like people to drive me. So I'll recruit my husband to drive. Oh, let's go to East End. Let's go, but I want him to do the driving so I can just sit back and relax.
I love it. I love it. Here's one. Talking to God more like a friend than formality.
Oh, yeah, definitely. In her shoes.
In her shoes.
Yeah.
Eating your feelings, but making it look cute.
Nope. Kicking the shoes off.
And last one, getting dressed up just to remind yourself of who you are.
Haven't really been doing that lately, so probably kicking the shoes off on that one. Yeah, could do with some more of that.
Could do with some more of that.
Yes, definitely.
And that ends the speed round game, and you did excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now we are winding down, and I just have some last questions for you. Now, when the weight gets really heavy, how do you remind yourself that God still has a purpose for your life, for the steps that you're taking? How do you remind yourself?
You know what is so interesting? I think that I have the good fortune of other people reminding me of that. Yes. Beautiful. So I'll give you an example. Big shout out to, I'm going to just use his initials. His wife just said that she's listening. DR, you'll know who he is.
Okay.
He always, when he hears a conversation where CMR comes up and it demonstrates the impact that we have in the community, he's the type of person who wants to call and share that with me.
Yes.
Yeah. And he'd be like, I was at a meeting today and this happened. And this person's like, CMR. And he's like, girl, you're, just presence in this community is so amazing. The things that you do is so amazing. And that reminds me every single day that we have a purpose that is still very much real and it's relevant. And so we're going to continue with it. Yeah, absolutely.
And, on that note, is there anyone you would like to give, you did, but is there anyone else you'd like to give a big shout out to tonight?
I think that this has been such a unique and interesting journey, and most people on the outside looking in can't fully appreciate all aspects of it. But to have a good, solid foundation at home, to have a partner who has allowed me, even in the craziest of times, and he's not a person who is, into media or the spotlight. He doesn't even watch, the program, like my show or anything like that.
Right.
But to have people constantly approaching him, he's like, listen, I don't know anything about that. I don't really get involved in these things. But to be that, that silent support regardless, and just allowing me to have the space to do the things that I need to do.
Yes.
Whether it's like, going to meetings late in the evenings to cover meetings. So he's holding down the fort at home with our daughter, or, I've got to travel to get something done. Having an extra show like tonight, I could be spending time with family. Like he has been very, very supportive along the way. Me spending money and equipment and coming up with new ideas and just going with it.
Yes.
The support, I think, on the home front and having that from my husband has been instrumental in my success. So it would be remiss of me to not mention how important that has been, because these are the type of things starting up. Yes, girl, starting up a business like this, in doing this, being put in a very public space can be the sort of thing that makes or breaks, in most instances breaks marriages and relationships. So that's a real reality, right? And he just is very, very steadfast. So really appreciate that for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. If you could name the season you're walking in right now, what would you call it?
Rooted and relentless.
Wow. I love it.
We, Nikki, are 8 years in. So we are well rooted in where we are in the community and what we're doing.
Yes.
But we have to continually evolve. This is where relentless now has to come in.
Yes.
Steady growth, no apologies to be made.
Yes.
We're in the cusp of launching CMR TV. That's going to be an amazing project. We are going to be doing CMR radio. That's another huge undertaking. So continually evolving and finding where else we can go in terms of media expansion.
Yes.
What else can be done?
Yes.
So rooted and relentless.
I love it. I love it. And that ends my question for tonight. But maybe there's something I didn't ask. And you are on your journey in your shoe. Is there anything you would like to share with us, just to encourage someone tonight who may be watching? What would you like to say?
Yeah, I mean, so many women in particular will tell you, especially in the world of business, that they feel invisible, right?
Yes.
They don't feel like people are noticing their movements, their accomplishments. And so what I want to say to those women who feel unseen,
yes,
don't ever feel that way. You're in an incubation period, right? Build your skill, build your character, document your wins. Your fruit will introduce you.
That's right.
Yeah?
That's right.
And you will know, and other people will know when you have arrived. And you're going to do that with grace and dignity and authenticity.
That's right.
So just stay focused on your plan. You got to have a plan. You can't just jump up and expect success to happen without a plan. So you've got to have a plan. And, once you've got a plan, plans are subject to change. So that's fine. Nothing is without revision. But just understand that it's all about the journey. It's all about the growth. It's all about walking in those shoes.
Yeah.
You can have the most beautiful, pretty shoes in the world. But if they're just sitting in the closet collecting dust, what's the point?
What's the point?
Put them on and walk in them proudly. But always make sure, as my Aunt Lotta used to say, 2 words of advice when it comes to shoes.
Yes.
And if you walk in shoes, you got to listen carefully now.
Yes.
Number 1, quality shoes. No cheap shoes, because they're going to fall apart on you.
Yes.
Number 2, go for comfort over aesthetics. A lot of us want the highest heels possible, fancy, they got to look good, whatever. You have to compromise sometimes on the looks in order to get the comfort, because the comfort is going to allow you to walk that much farther in your shoes. And that's critical. That is key.
Wow. That was amazing. Mrs. Hill, I am so happy that you accepted the invitation to
Yes,
join
thank
us
you.
tonight. And as I said before, I truly learned a lot from you tonight. And I wish you all the very best in your
Thank you so
future
much.
endeavors with your radio show, the TV show. And I look forward to that as well. And
Yeah,
may God
thank
continue
you.
to bless you and your family and everything in the future.
I
No?
appreciate it.
You're
And good luck, Nikki, on your endeavor as well.
Thank you.
I appreciate the invite, and a big shout out to all of your team members, your production team, and everybody else who I know is there behind you in
Yes.
the background making this possible. Thank you so much.
Yes. And I want to give a big shout out to Mario.
Yes, absolutely.
Mario made the link.
Name.
Mario came in the studio and he set up the mic and he told us, don't touch it. Don't touch anything. Let it stay.
Yes, big shout out to Mario. He made it
Big
happen.
shout out. And Flash Fam, what a night it was. I certainly enjoyed this conversation tonight. And the truth is, it is easy to look at others walking, and we may think that the walk is easy, but we do not know what others had to do or what shoe, the price they had to pay for their shoe to get to where they are. And if we look closely, sometimes those shoes are really worn. But guess what? Because, as Mrs. Hill said, some persons, they invested in quality, right? Some of us love buy cheap shoes, right? But they put the time in and they invested. And so tonight, I've learned a lot. And I hope you have learned it too. We've learned that strength, grace, and faith, sometimes it comes with blisters. And one thing that resonates with me as well is it's okay if others judge us, but it is important for us to be authentic. There is a word that I've been using with my students a lot, and that is integrity. Whether or not anybody else is watching, we ought to maintain our integrity. Now, everybody's story is sacred. And before we go criticizing their step, take a moment to understand their stride. Understand the stride. So here's to the women and the men who have had to walk some rough walk, but we're happy that you have made it this far. And if you have come this far, then by God's grace, you can continue on your journey. And to you, Mrs. Hill, thank you for speaking your truth tonight. Even when the road gets rough, continue to be your authentic self. Your courage gives others permission to walk in theirs. So Flash Fam, this was Flash Talk, the Uncut Edition. And as we go about our week this week, remember, walk in your true self. Be authentic. And the God who brought you this far, He will continue to lead you along the way. Have yourselves an amazing week. Bye.
Buenos días, buenos días, buenos días, Clifton Hunter. Tendremos una celebración muy especial este viernes que viene. Vamos a celebrar el Día de Hispanidad en Clifton Hunter. This Friday, lock that date and don't be late. On Friday, we will be celebrating Hispanic Day, and it's only $3 to dress down in the colors of a Spanish-speaking country of your choice. Now, let me add that there will be a surprise for the tutorial that has 100% participation. So let's come out in our numbers and make it a day to remember. October 10th, Friday, from 8 to 1:10 p.m. See you there.
Flashpoint Media presents Point of Praise Cayman's Got Talent, Gospel Edition, Saturday, October 25, 2025. Place to be, Triple C, 74 Fairbanks Road, Georgetown, Grand Cayman. Tickets, pre-sold $25, VIP $50. 5 proceeds to loud, solid voices. Be there.
This is Flash Talk, the Uncut Edition. Say it just how you feel it.
No filters, no fluff, just real talk with the full Flashpoint fam. Get with it.
From hot takes to belly laughs, the crew is locked in and ready.
From debates that might get a little spicy, including all VIP members.
This is where vibes meets voice, jokes meets truth, and we talk things.
We are here to get real.
It's raw, it's real, and it's about time.
But big conversations. This is Flash Talks, the Uncut Edition. Flash Farm. Look at the things they're not. Real people, real voices, real conversations.
Flash Talk, the Uncut Edition, at 7 p.m. every Thursday, right here